Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a 2007 Toyota Tacoma. This one has a noisy left rear axle bearing. This happens to be the 6-lug variety, so that's going to be 4-wheel drive and pre-runners. This is a job that a lot of people kind of shy away from. As a matter of fact, quite a few shops actually steer away from it too. We're going to show you with the right tools. It's really not that big a deal, and the right tools really aren't that expensive. We'll show you what those look like, so let's get into it. Got the wheel off, got the drum off. We're going to start by taking the brake shoes apart. Really, the only one that you kind of have to get out of the way is this one, because we're going to take the parking brake cable off the back of this one. I just go to town with a pair of needle nose. You can get basically everything off of this thing with a pair of needle nose. All we need access to is this part of the parking brake cable. That out of the way, there's two 10s that are in here. Well, we got our 10 out. We're going to take this wheel speed sensor out. It's just 110 nut. Sometimes the stud will come off. That's actually a good thing because the new bearing doesn't come with the stud, so that's fine. Now what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the wheel cylinder. So just to keep it from dripping all over the floor, we're going to take our vice grips or some pinch off pliers or whatever and just kind of gently pinch that thing closed. Our wheel cylinder flare nut is a, oops, I thought it was a 10. It is a 10. Is it a 10? I think it's, yeah, it's 10.
Well, then who's playing first?
Yeah.
I mean, the fellow's name on first base.
Who?
The fellow playing first base for St. Louis.
Who?
Now we'll get working on the bolts that that hold the axle to the tube. Full disclosure, there is a drain right here. That's a 24 on the diff. You can drain that, but fluid still comes out of this tube either way. Also, I did a diff service on this thing not all that long ago, so I'm just gonna put a catch pan and catch the little bit that comes out of it, and we'll just top it off. The nuts are 14s. There's 4 of them. Now we're ready to come out with our whole axle assembly. It's going to pull the backing plate and all this stuff off with it. We're going to try. Sometimes it works on Toyota, sometimes not so much. Works great with Ford, works great with GM. We're going to try to actually pull the axle seal out with the axle, I guess, as we come out with it. So before we hook this thing up into the special bearing jig or whatever you want to call it, we got to get this circlip off of it. So just use a pair of snap ring pliers. So this is our the tool to do Toyota axle bearings. Most of the time, special tools, they basically just make the job faster. In this case, to the best of my knowledge, I don't think you can do a Toyota axle bearing without using this tool. This one is relatively cheap. I think I picked it up for like 130 bucks on Amazon. It will do what appears to me to be every Toyota axle bearing that we have. It looks like it does the first gen Tundras. It looks like it does the Tacomas, the kind of oddball like newer Forerunners. This side is for the great big like 07 to I guess 21 Tundras. So but anyway, what we're gonna do is this thing goes down and we're gonna put our nuts that we took off earlier back onto here, and we're gonna press this thing out from the top. So we've got our I'm just going to call this a jig. I don't know what it's actually called. We got this thing set up here in the press. We've got our actual press is coming down onto our axle. So what's going to happen is this is going to push out the axle, and the inner race is going to stay on it. The outer race is going to stay onto this. I just stick my foot up underneath the bottom of it to catch it when it comes out. Just start pressing, and if you have a gauge, watch the gauge. If it gets over like 10 tons, something's wrong. But generally speaking, at most, it's maybe 5 tons. So, like I said earlier, your one race, your outer race still stays on there. I like to just kind of get this this kind of sleeve thing, just cut it off or do whatever to get it off, get that thing out of the way. What we're going to do, there's a couple different ways to get this off. Some people will heat this race up to get it to drop off. I don't really like doing that, just because you kind of only have like one shot at it to get it off. So usually what I do is I will take a cutoff wheel and I'll cut it kind of diagonally. Now you got to be careful because you don't want to maul the axle up. I mean, you can nick it a little bit here and there, but I actually had one that somebody got super carried away with it. They cut a channel all the way through it, so diff fluid would leak out and run through that channel and run out. But we're going to try to get this thing as thin as we can without hitting the axle, and then we're going to take an air hammer and just whack on it with an air hammer, and it'll actually break it, because this is really, really hard. Now, ordinarily, safety is not an enormous concern for me.
Safety generally, it's best I can figure is third.
As long as you know what you're doing, you can kind of do it safely without unnecessary things like glasses. Safety squints work most of the time, but we're going to be whacking on this thing with an air hammer, and this is very hard, and it tends to just like shatter. And I've had little bits of this come flying off and hit me in the hands, hit me in the face, and it'll draw blood. I mean, it's basically like getting hit with a BB gun.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
So, minimum, put on some safety glasses if you're going to be doing it this way. I Ideally, you'd put like a face shield on. But yeah, minimum, this ain't worth losing your eye over. So just like that, totally unmarred. And you can see it actually just kind of puts a little crack in it when you can't focus worth a crap, but a little crack in it. That off, we'll get our that last seal off of it, and we'll get ready to put the new one back on. Now we'll work on getting these studs out, because the studs are what hold the backing plate on. Just get the bolts, the nuts that you took off, started most of the way on. Pay attention to the orientation of this. I meant to say it earlier also. It's going to be in line with where your parking brake comes through, but also on Toyotas, there's a difference between the left and the right. And it's kind of, it's really stupid. I don't know why they do this. It's just where this threaded hole is. Make sure that it's on the same side that you're taking it off. So we're doing the left side, the right side, it would be over here. You'd think that they would just make another threaded hole down here and just have as many parts, but double check your new bearing to make sure that this is the same, and make sure when we put this back on, this has to be oriented in the right position. All right, so we got our hole lined up with our parking brake hole. Get this started back in here. What we're going to do to get these pressed back in is we're just using a bigger nut as a spacer, because the threads don't quite go all the way. You run out of threads. So we're just using this to space them out, and we'll run these back on with an impact to get it pulled back up where we need it. So I always get new ones of these. I feel like you can probably reuse this. I wouldn't reuse this. This kind of puts a little bit of, I guess, preload on it. I'm not exactly sure what this is supposed to do, but it's kind of cone shaped. It goes like this as you're looking at it. When it comes to this guy, this has a chamfer on this one end. So this is going to be the side that goes in. So it'll go on like this. From this point forward, it is basically the exact same as any other pressed in wheel bearing. So let's get to that. All right, so if you're paying attention to this now, the one at the very bottom, that's just a random race that we had laying around. It's bigger than the thickest part of the axle, but it's still small enough to be able to press onto that collar or whatever it's called. You don't have to do that, but if you don't, you're kind of fighting with those. The studs stick down longer than where that thing goes on. So these things are going to stay all in relation to each other. The only thing that's moving down is the top part of the axle as it goes down. So I've found that doing it like this kind of yields the best results, and kind of is the easiest way to do it. Now going back in, I'll use air going out, but I kind of prefer to do it by hand going back in, just because you can you kind of get a feel for your tools after a while. Right now we're at 15 tons. It's not going any further. So what we're going to do, we're not going to take the whole thing apart. We're going to let the press up. And we're going to lift this up and just make sure that our circlip has, you're able to access it through that little channel. we should be good. So looks like we got room for our circlip. Try to get any gunk in it that might be in it out of it. Bam. So in addition to the axle seal that we popped out earlier, there's also a crusty O-ring. We'll take that out. You've seen us do this before if you're regular to the channel, but pack some grease in here so that spring doesn't fall out. Put a little bit on the outside. Now when it comes to installing the new one, don't beat around the bush, guys. Just drive that thing home. Get it where it kind of looks like it's wanting to get started. That's all it takes. If your stud right here didn't come out, now will be the time to transfer it from your old one. Ours came off with the nut, so that's great. We'll get ready to put this thing back in. I don't know how well you're paying attention to that. I was too busy doing and not talking. Do yourself a little bit of a favor. Leave some space on these so that you can have your axle out a little bit and make this easier to get lined back up. With our wheel cylinder attached back up, we'll go ahead and take this off because we're going to need it later. Now we'll start doing the drum brakes back together. Rule of thumb with drum brakes, guys, I guess I should have said this earlier too. If you're not all that comfortable with them, you can take a picture of it beforehand, or just make sure you take one side apart so that you can go look at the other side and make sure. They're kind of unnecessarily complicated. I mean, just a bunch of springs and stuff. But anyway, we'll go ahead and get this cable ran back through. Now we'll go ahead and get our ABS sensor back in, wheel speed sensor back in. What we'll do is we'll get this wheel cylinder gravity bleeding. Now, once this stops getting any air bubbles in it, we'll tighten it up. And honestly, you shouldn't have to bleed the brakes. This 99.9% of the time will get everything that you need out of it just doing this. So we're not out of the woods yet. We got to top off the diff fluid. That's a 24 plug. Also, while you're under here, I mean, I'm assuming you have the wheels off of it at this point. If you want to really dial in the adjustment of your brakes, you can take out this plug right here, and your adjuster wheel is right there. You can get it pretty darn good just by taking the drum on and off. But if for some reason it was out of whack, you can dial it in perfectly by just spinning the wheel and turning it till it has just a little bit of drag on it. The diff fluid is 80W90 GL5. Well, we got this one all done. Realistically, guys, with the right tools, this is not a bad job. Especially if you have a press and you have a Toyota, as cheap as that thing is, it's going to pay for itself the first time that you use it. So even if it's just on your own cars, it's going to pay for itself. Plus, you can do any of your buddies or anything else that may come down the road. It's not that big a deal. There's no reason to be intimidated or nervous or apprehensive about it.
You was scared, huh? Don't be scared.
This thing is just like anything else once you learn how to do it. The other thing is that all Toyota wheel bearings, axle bearings, are very similar to this. So anyway, yeah, that's going to wrap this one up, guys. Hopefully we earned a thumbs up from you. Let us know what you think down in the comment section. We have new content for you every single week, so consider subscribing to the channel. And with all that being said, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. These needle nose aren't very needly.